So this video will be talking about like limits of like of your vision in the real world, like what to expect. And because you are at one reference point when you see something in your three-dimensional world, you have a limit of what you can see. So when you see something, you could be seeing two things, either of two things. You just don't know unless you have a different reference point. For example, when you think about the sun, when it's like an hour over, it just rose over the horizon about an hour after. So this is the horizon, you got the sun right here. Okay, so that, when you're seeing the sun right there, that could be either two things, okay? The sun is really big, but it's far away, so it's small in the sky. This is the earth, okay? So the sun's right here. And as it's rotating, let's just say the earth is rotating, this spot, as it's going, over, it's seeing the sun. Okay. Or it could be the position where this is earth, right? Because if it was flat and the sun was, say, really far away over here, but it was above earth, right? You would not know what you were looking at that moment. Like, you were just looking at a picture. You could say, well, it could be either this or that. I don't know. Yeah, so I think that's what's happening, right? When the earth is rotating, I think the sun is like, I don't think, yeah, that's what's happening. To the middle of the day is when you're going to be right under the sun. Okay, so if the earth was like perfect without the tilt of the earth, I'm just trying to make understanding. So, okay, so the same, so you know what you know what reality is, because the sun doesn't just appear over the horizon to get small to get bigger. It rises up. So you know what that is right there. That matches. We're not fitting a theory in here based on the evidence, but it matches. Like, evidence proves or disproves things. If you have a ball, it's not going to have edges or corners. That's you start matching. What could the evidence start meaning? Yeah, the ball is not a cube, so it matches, the ball, right? The evidence. So, lost my train of thought right there. I know where I'm at. Okay, so we know so it matches that the sun is big. It's big and it's far away. All right, yeah. I think I've completely done that. But all right, well, let me see. Let me try to gather my thoughts where I was. Yeah, so you don't see it because the earth is small. You don't see the earth small and getting bigger. Okay, you see it rising. So you know that the earth isn't, that something isn't going above the earth. You know that. For that reason, and I'm sure there's others. So I explained what you're going to expect to see, and when you're on a three-dimensional world, the limit of seeing something from one perspective. So going to a different perspective helps you know what you're seeing. And then getting a 360-degree view of something, or perspective of something, exactly what it is in that plane wherever you looked at. So that's the most conclusive. But so it's always better to have, or you need at least two when you have something at the very least. You need three, depending on what you're looking at, to know completely what your position is in space, or what that object looks like. So, or what to expect to see, like when you're talking about the sun, going around object. So this relates also to the second point. So the first one was about the sun, what you're seeing in the sky, what it could mean. And then so the second one is going to be about when you're on an ocean looking at the horizon, and a ship is going over that. So it would, you would see the ship get smaller and then and get bigger if the earth was flat. If it was curved, you're going to see the top to the bottom. That is a fact. Okay? Those are logical facts. Okay? Now, what you observe in the real world, you could say that there's a problem with what the observation is because there's limits. That's fine. But the fact would always be that this is going to be observable on around Earth. The top of the ship's going to be observable first. If it was flat, it would get smaller to bigger. You'd always be able to see the smaller part, or the bottom part of the boat that's just above the horizon, So now you could say that there's distortion and you can't see, and that object actually is getting bigger, but you're just seeing more and more and more of it. Well, one, it's not proportional with what you're seeing. You're really seeing something go up. It wouldn't be proportional to it getting bigger. So you wouldn't see it like that. That would disprove it. And then the next one that really proves it, if you don't want to believe that, is just get higher up. Get a drone or a helicopter, and then you'll actually see that distortion will go away, that you'll see above the horizon on the ocean, there's a distortion with some of the air molecules or something. You just can't see a little bit. There's like a little distortion. But when you go up, you're going to be able to see. You're going to be like, hey, well, I'm up now. That distortion went away. I should be able to see the bottom of the ship now, right? Because it's getting bigger and bigger. So that would help you understand that what you're seeing is accurate. You are seeing a ship go over a curved surface. And so that would be the second point. Okay, so you can know for sure what you're seeing when the sun's rising over the horizon and when it's in the night sky. You can feel, sure that it's not going above you, that either the earth is rotating, the sun is revolving around the earth, or both of those, where the sun is where the earth is revolving around the sun and the earth is also rotating. So or it could be both, right? It could be the sun is revolving around the earth and the earth rotating, or it could be the earth is rotating about its axis and the sun could be stationary, or you're revolving around the earth. Okay, so those are all the options, but that it's not going to be flat with what you're seeing. It's not flat, and that is still on the same point of the sun, but it's the same concept when I brought up the boat, how it's going over the horizon. It's the same exact concept. So we're still in the same concept of how you see things far away when they come to you. That's all it is. So when something's X amount of distance away and when I start seeing it, how I start seeing it determines what shape that what is the shape of the surface that I'm on. That's everything in one sentence right there. So that is what proves what shape you're on, how you see things when they're farther away and they get closer in your line of sight. So there you go. So the sun is still there. The ships prove it. The same concept. It's really the same concept as the sun, now that I'm thinking more about it. So I think that's it for this video. So you're getting some deeper understanding of what to expect, how to understand the evidence that you're getting. You have to logically kind of build a map in your brain of what to expect based on what you see in nature. And then it kind of helps you map out what to expect. Like when we were talking about the example of the sun, is it far away or is it above you? What you would expect to see. So, okay, all right. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time, I hope. Okay.